This video is a replay of a trade I took today. Now, it probably goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I am not a financial advisor, and trading entails risk. Just because I got these results today doesn't mean that I can get these every day, nor that you can. Remember, the entire premise of the investing project and the $1 million experiment is that I am not an expert, and yet I am learning how to do this. So for heaven's sake, don't just blindly copy me. Instead, find a mentor, someone who is an expert, and join their community. Pay for their mentorship. This approach has worked very well for me, and it likely will for you too. So use this video partly as education and partly as inspiration. After all, if I can learn this, you can too.
Bit of a challenging day to trade today. There was a major sell-off in the early hours, overnight essentially, and everything had really melted down. And then at market open, there was a nice big rebound. I don't know about the nice part. There was a big rebound, and it made clear the fact that I'd kind of missed this, but it looked like we were getting to a lower, sort of higher low here. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll get in, and I'll get in on the price going above this red bar. Now, normally I get in when price goes above the green bar, but I saw this nice big candle here, nice big wick rather. The opportunity to get in really was here, but I'd missed it. It had already gone all the way back up, and it came back down. I thought, you know what? I'll get in if it goes above this candle. So I did that. Now I'm bearing in mind I'm a bit late at this point, but nevertheless, that's what I did. I got in, and unfortunately, it didn't work out so well. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and play that back.
No.
I ended up moving this down to about 150 points of total risk. And we let the thing play out. And unfortunately, it just never really could figure itself out. It spent the next, I don't know, hour or so in this space, just sort of circling around. And eventually, it just went down and stopped me out for a full 150 point loss, $300. Wasn't great. Now I won't force you to sit through this whole thing, but the reality was it came down, stopped me out, and it went lower. So I'm going to actually fast forward. I'm going to fast forward here, and about 8:30, I took a couple more trades that were a lot better in terms of how they played out. So I'm just going to fast forward this on a bit. It'll take just a quick second. All right, and you can see, based on where that was, that it went a lot lower from where I was. So clearly, I was much too early. However, if you look at the YM, interestingly enough, it had the strongest of the rebounds when the market had opened, and it never really gave much of that back. I mean, it gave it all back, but it never really went any lower, unlike the NQ and the ES that went a substantial amount lower. It actually held up pretty well. So I looked for an opportunity to get in, and I did at 51,815. And I got in again with two contracts. Now, really, I was lecturing myself yesterday about getting in size, but the truth of the matter is I didn't have very high confidence in this, so I still went in with two contracts. Probably should have done at least four, but and in any other circumstance, I might look at this revisiting the same low that it had, and think, well, this might be a time to go in full size. Anyway, I didn't. I went in with two, and I said 815, which should be right about there. Okay, so I went in with two right about there. Let's go ahead and play. Oh, and I got in at 856. I got back into the MNQ, so let me keep an eye on that too. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the trade in. I'll wait a minute. Keep an eye on that. So where are we at? Yes. 834, let's go 835. Okay, so I'm in, and the risk amount was right about the right level, so I didn't have to adjust it at all. And it went pretty substantially upwards, so that was good news. And then around 856, I got in on the MNQ, and that was at 28572. So let me find that 28572. Right about, well, are you going to make me expand this to 8572? There we go. All right, let's keep it playing. And and we'll go from here. And so we can see that the that the YM is doing pretty well here. It's moved up to break even. It has begun trailing the first of the two contracts at I think it's 100 points behind the top. And okay, and so we had the NQ is just filled. And so what ends up happening here is the YM goes up. It manages to trigger its first target, which is great. So we've sold one target or one contract at 200 points, so that's $100. Meanwhile, we have the NQ has moved up 50 points, and so it's stopped to break even. So that's all looking good. And what I ended up doing with the NQ is I ended up trailing manually by means of the 15-minute bars. So we'll show you that shortly, because that's basically how I did this. Expand this a little bit. And you can see that the NQ is it's trailing itself 70 points behind the high. We've meanwhile triggered the YM. And once we've triggered the YM, I start trailing that second contract as well. And I think, if I recall correctly, I moved it right down here to below this swing low. Matter of fact, I think I even moved it up to about here. And I think that's where it stopped me out, if I remember correctly. I might have just missed the opportunity to get out there. But I think it was right about, I think that's right about here. So it took me out for a total of $164.50 gain. Meanwhile, the NQ, it took me out as well, but I actually think I manually moved the stop up to just below here. And so it stopped me out with a $222 gain. Long story short, this was a $384 of profit to offset the $300 of loss. So we ended up in a total profit situation of $84 for today. So a lot of activity for only $84, but better than a loss.